Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about meditating because you know what it can do for you? It can reduce your blood pressure, it can reduce your blood sugar, it can increase your immunity, it can help you manage anxiety, stress, depression, and help regulate PTSD. All those things with just one simple step. And it does sound kind of woo-woo to a lot of people, but they're very simple practices and they can make such a world of difference in the way you see things and the way you respond to people and circumstances. So let me give you 7 different kinds of meditation that you can try, and hopefully it'll make a difference for you. Let me know. Let's start with number 1. The one that is most commonly known or referred to, it's just sitting. Well, not just sitting. You want to have your spine straight, your chest open, your shoulders back, and you want to start getting in touch with your breathing. Even just sitting on the couch, turning off the TV and any other distractions, and sitting in the quiet and listening to your breathing is a form of meditation. It's kind of where all the meditation starts. So even if you don't go any further than that, try that for 10 minutes a day and see what it does for you. I guarantee there will be a difference within a matter of 30 days. Anyway, getting back to just sitting, that's all about, so first you want to connect with your breath. And you can do it in the cross-legged position, but you can do it in other positions too, whatever works for you. And you want to get in touch with your breath, and you just want to still your mind. Now, that's a lot harder than it sounds. If you just shut your eyes, listen to your breath, there are a million thoughts going through that brain. A million, probably a billion in my case. And you just want to get to a state where you can just not attach to any of those thoughts. Just let them go by. Let them go by, let them go by, just watch them go by. So this meditation is just a matter of watching your thoughts go by and not getting attached to them, not worrying about that bill or not worrying about that, whatever is in your life bothering you. Just watch those thoughts. This is actually one of the hardest forms of meditation out there. So maybe you don't want to start with it, or maybe you do, but don't terrorize yourself by saying, I'm going to meditate for 15 minutes the first day. See if you can get through 1 minute. Try 1 minute, or set an alarm or a timer for 3 minutes and see how you do, and start with that to begin with. Try just sitting meditation, or try something else like the next one. The next form of meditation is vipassana or something like that. I'm not going to get into the names because I think the names distract us from maybe including it with practices such as our prayers or our spirituality already. Don't look at meditation as a spiritual practice, even though it kind of is, but it's more to calm yourself. And it's really to get in touch with your spirit, not to conflict with other spiritual beliefs or practices you have. This is really part of taking care of your mental and physical health. So this one is a matter of just seeing things the way they are. What you'll do with this kind of meditation is, again, begin by sitting, getting in touch with your breath. When you're quiet and you can start to relate to your breath, pay attention to it. The next thing you want to do is do an inventory of what your body is doing, just how things really are, okay? So you want to start at the top of your head, and you just want to go little by little, your forehead, the back of your head, your eyes, behind your eyes, your ears, your cheekbones, your jaw, that specific. And you just want to go through your whole body and recognize where there's pain, where there's heat, where there's cold, where an emotion starts for you, where you might feel discomfort in any way, itching. Sometimes I have like a little electronic things going through my body, electrical current, I guess. But this practice is to help you train your brain to just observe what's going on, not necessarily respond to it. So that when you're in a position where you would typically respond, maybe somebody makes you angry, or somebody attacks you, or you feel upset in some way, or some kind of situation is bothering you, it's to train your brain to just observe it. Because when you start doing that practice, and again, start with 3 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, but when you start doing it over and over on a regular basis, you will notice that your brain pays attention to what is happening at that moment. And you'll notice that every time you do the meditation, it's different. So this is not only training your brain just to observe, it's teaching you the value of being in the present and knowing that nothing is permanent, how quickly everything changes. One of my favorite movies is Moonstruck, and Cher plays a single 39-year-old Italian woman who still lives at home with her parents. And one night she comes home to tell her father that she's engaged. Well, her fiance didn't get her a ring. He just gave her his pinky ring as a promise. And so when her father asks her about the ring, he says, "Where's the ring?" And she shows him the pinky ring, and he says, "That's not a ring." And she says, "It's temporary." And he says, "Everything is temporary." He's talking about life. And this meditation practice teaches you that everything is temporary, that all your situations that you're struggling with, not happy with, or happy with will change. And this kind of helps you balance out the highs and lows of life, that you know that whatever is the low is going to be followed by a high, probably. That's just the way life is. And this meditation practice. Number three is transcendental meditation, which probably most of us have heard of. Sounds kind of kooky and woo-woo, and the Beatles were into it, and all those druggies were into it, and maybe it's not for me. Transcendental meditation is a type of meditation where, again, you start sitting quietly, getting in touch with your breath, and then you pick a word or a phrase to continually speak. And it's kind of like your brain clings onto that continual sound like a pillow, like a soft place to land with all those thoughts going through the head. It kind of starts to quiet the other thoughts, and the brain starts to focus on that one word. I used to use the word nothing because I wanted nothing in my brain. Nothing, nothing. Okay? And then eventually your brain gets tired of thinking, then it gets tired of the word, and you enter a state where you're half awake, half asleep. It's kind of like you're not trying to get rid of your thoughts, you're just trying to settle the activity. So it's kind of like if you shake up a glass of muddy water, okay? You stir it up and it gets all dirty, but then once it settles, the mud goes to the bottom and the water rises to the top. That's the way transcendental meditation works. And by quieting those thoughts, you're able to get in a state of more pure consciousness. It's not weird. See if that one works for you. The next one is a moving meditation. This one is kind of the cousin to yoga. Instead of stretching and breathing and stretching, you are moving and stretching. There's an energy flow to us. You know, we're all made out of energy. All we are is just atoms put together spinning. And the quicker these atoms spin and the easier they flow, the healthier we are. We feel more alert, we have more energy, we don't have so much confusion. So this energy force is in everything. It's in the trees, it's in the sky, it's in the wind, it's in the sun. It's all around us. And it's called chi from the people who started this meditation. So your chi runs through your body. It's a real thing. It's a real energy. It runs through your body in what is called meridians. And acupuncturists use these meridians. A lot of different kinds of massages use these meridians. And so I'll just give you a personal example of this. When I go to see my acupuncturist and he gives me a treatment for my hand, which I bruised, I mean, I really sprained it. I fell on it in May and I'm still working on healing it. But my wrist gets tight. It kind of feels like there's a rubber band on it. And I tell him that, and he puts a few needles in certain places to open up those meridians. And when I leave his office, I don't feel that tightness anymore. It's all flowing. And so I need to work on making sure that I keep that chi flowing, not just in my arm, but that's a real example to me of, wow, it's a real thing and it really does affect how my hand feels. So imagine how it feels in the rest of my body. Maybe that tightness in my knee will go away if I practice enough meditation. Of course, meditation takes a while to actually work. It is a discipline. Qigong is a form of meditation that is meditation, breath, and movement. And it starts by getting in touch with your breath, standing this time, and then beginning a series of very gentle movements, like circling your arms, pretending you have a ball in your hands and moving it around, stepping to the left, stepping to the right, extending your arms, moving your legs. It is a systematic meditation, so it probably you will find people that are leading these Qigong sessions at your community center or library or fitness center or senior center. There's a lot of different places that I see this activity being offered. And it's not really a workout. It's more of a dance with your own energy. You're really focused so much on your body and your breath that your brain starts to calm. So it helps you stay in the present moment. And by doing this practice on a regular basis, it keeps you more in touch with the natural energies that you live in and that live within you. So there's more balance and harmony in your life. I know it sounds woo-woo, but it really does work. Just try it. Try meditating for 6 months and see what it does to your blood pressure. Changed mine. The next meditative practice is also an activity. This is the whirling. Usually the people that do this are whirling Durbans, I think. It's when people, they start with their breath and they start spinning. They wear a white robe. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all. It looks like one of the most beautiful things that I can imagine when I watch it. I haven't seen it in person. I've only seen it, in videos. These men and women put on white robes, very flowing white robes. They begin with breath and they raise their right hand up in the air to draw in the energy of the Creator, of God, of the universal benevolent power, whatever you call it. And they put their left hand down to draw that energy through them down to the rest of the people around them. Okay, so they look at themselves as a conduit for that energy. And so they start spinning, and once the dizziness is gone, of course there's dizziness, but once that dizziness settles, they have described it as like being drunk on God's love. That there's just this, they get into this motion and something overtakes them. Their expression and their spinning is representative of the planets circling the sun and the universal power within that action. The goal of this meditation is surrender, because once you get into that whirling experience after the dizziness and your brain calms and you have that experience of being drunk on God's love, it is a total surrender of your body and your mind and your spirit to this higher power. Number 6 is my favorite, walking meditation. Walking meditation is about as easy as it sounds. This meditation started with Asian monks who traveled long distances to visit other monasteries beside their own. So very wise men that they were decided, well, walking, we don't want that to be downtime, so we're going to practice meditation along the way. So the way this one works is that, again, quiet, engage with your breath, and then take a step. And in every step, you're only focused on that step. You're not focused on your destination. You're not focused on the time you're going to get there, the time you're going to get back. Even if you have a destination, you're only focused in the actual movement of that one step. And then with the other foot, the actual movement of the other step. It is a practice of staying in the moment, being present in the moment, and recognizing that meditation is not something that you need to sit on a pillow for hours to do. This meditative practice can happen anytime you're walking. You could be in the grocery store and you could just stop for 3 minutes and take 10, 12, 15 steps practicing this meditative practice. Being aware of each step, being aware of that moment. That is the only moment that exists. Every step you take becomes sacred, and this is a practice of mindfulness. Very easy to incorporate it any time of day. Number 7, our next meditative practice, is contemplative prayer. Now, contemplative prayer is probably the most common one known among Christians because it was very widely used in early Christianity. This is a form of prayer where you don't ask God for things, you don't pray prayers. It's more of sitting in the presence of God than talking to God. You might start out with a sacred phrase or a scripture, and you meditate on it until the words start to kind of melt away and your brain relaxes and you get into a state of higher consciousness. The meaning of the words fade and your heart starts to open. The silence takes over and you become aware of God's presence in a way that goes beyond language or thoughts. It's kind of a semi-conscious thing or an alternative consciousness. The goal of this meditative practice is to make you aware that you are already enveloped with divine love and you are in union with your Creator. And this is not a way to escape the world. This is a way to build your compassion and empathy for the world, for others, for yourself. I have done this one in prayer circles with Bible groups or spiritual groups. It can be done in a group. So maybe you want to have some friends over for a meditative experience. Try it. Try it. What have you got to lose? And then finally, we have Koan, Koan meditation. This one I had never heard of. It's kind of weird. While I was doing some research on all the kinds of meditations out there. There's so many. But Koan is kind of a master and a student thing. This is a meditation where you give your brain a riddle that cannot be solved. For example, what color is Wi-Fi? What is the sound of one hand clapping? More of the same can be a whole new thing. You run these riddles over and over and over in your mind until your brain gets tired of it. It's just like, I'm done. I can't figure it out. And it starts to settle. And in the settling process, the duality between you and the world disappears. The brain gets tired of trying to figure out this riddle, and it just settles into a place where a flash of insight occurs, maybe more than one. It's about breaking the illusion that reality can be captured by thought. It really can't. I haven't tried that one, and I don't think I want to try it. But you have 7 others to try right here, so give it a try. I mean, make it a scientific experiment to see if you really can drop your blood pressure or calm your anxiety. We live with so much anxiety. We have such a crazy world, and we have crazy kids, and we have crazy old experiences. We have so much anxiety and depression and loneliness. This is one way that we can help ourselves get through it. Try one. Leave a comment about how it works for you, of course, down below. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.